Alright, what's up everybody, it's Sam from LOTN. In this video doing my main card predictions for UFC 268, Usman versus Covington 2. I divide these videos as follows. First I'll talk about the picks and the bets, and then on to the breakdowns. And if you wish to support the channel, stick it to the end, I'll show you how. Guys, I have moved the content for the prelims on for exclusive on Patreon. In there you guys gonna be hearing both the breakdowns for the prelims, the bets that I'm taking, and the lock of the night and top 2 parlay discussions. As you guys know, been quite successful, at least on the top 2. I've been very consistent there. I'm not keeping a track, but as far as remember, I got basically all the time correct the top pick and at least the safest picks. All right. So if you wish to support the channel and take a look into that, feel free to join me on Patreon. You can do it from $10 tiers, alright? And I'll show you that in the end. Okay, so for no further ado, between Weili Zhang versus Namajunas, I'm betting Namajunas. For the main card, this is my biggest bet. I'm fairly confident there. I think Rose gets it done again. Then Kamaru Usman versus Colby Covington in the main event. I'm also quite confident picking and betting Usman. It's quite expensive, I would like to get that around minus 200, but still I think Usman gonna be basically close to a replay from the previous fight. All right. Justin Gaethje versus Michael Chandler, I'm picking Gaethje but not betting. Burgos versus Quarantillo, I'm picking Burgos but not betting. And then Marlon Vera versus Frankie Edgar, I'm picking Vera but not betting. The bets that I'm interested into, the last two, probably Quarantillo by decision. I don't see much of a finish for Quarantillo. So by decision as an underdog from plus 350, plus 400, that would be interesting me. Plus Vera and Frankie Edgar, quite tricky, but maybe the fight go the distance here as they're both tough, but I'll comment that into the breakdowns as well, alright? So guys, I have also another interesting one, Alex Pereira versus Andreas Mihailidis. This is also part of the prelims. Take a look into my other video if you wish to hear more into that, right? So between Vera and Frankie Edgar, right off the bat, it's not easy to call, guys. The reason is Marlon Vera, this guy has tons of potential, he's good everywhere, dangerous with the submissions, very creative striker, good calf kicks, dangerous with the knees, with the elbows. When this guy gets going, he's this type of guys that has the natural instinct for fighting. He gets inside, he hits hard, he hits angles, he brawls a little bit, and he's tough. So he can do that, he can keep pushing, he's creative, like I said. So it's super tough to fight Marlon Vera. He's also in his physical prime here. He's quite tall and long for the bantamweight division. He's fighting a veteran in Frankie Edgar, who is now turning 40. But the guy's a former champion. You can never count the heart and the will of Frankie Edgar out. Plus, he's the better wrestler here, And Marlon Vera, even though he has submissions from his back, it's not that he's outstanding, or I don't think he's gonna be able to submit Edgar. There's a chance that he submits Edgar, but I don't think from his back. He could potentially land a knee or hand a heavy strike and then submit Edgar, but from the back, it's not impossible, but I don't see much of a chance. So I think Cheeto should be able to win by knockout, but it's quite tricky, to bet, especially at these odds. The best bet here is probably Frankie Edgar by decision, depending on the price. If you can catch that from plus 350, I think it's a good one because it's not gonna be easy to finish Vera at all, So it's Edgar, and if it by decision, if you like Edgar, definitely by decision. But Marlon Vera can also win by decision, even though I think he has a little bit more chance for the knockout. But like I told you guys, fight go the distance, not a bad idea, especially if I can catch that from plus 150, plus 160 range. I think it's a good one, because I think there's a decent chance, kind of 50-50 going the distance, all right? Burgos versus Quarantillo, another interesting one. They both are pressure fighters, they're the best and they're taking the front foot. Burgos is a giant featherweight. This guy is so huge, it's really ridiculous. And he hits hard, and he doesn't take a back step. It's going to be interesting to see him matching up against Quarantillo, who is not a small featherweight, but he's not the hardest hitter. He's not the strongest, And it's going to be interesting because Quarantillo is at his best also when he's taking the front foot, trying to brawl and shooting, taking guys to the ground and holding them and dominating from top. I don't think gonna be easy to do against Burgos just because Burgos is much stronger, and hits harder. So I think we're gonna see Burgos march him down. But it's gonna be interesting because Quarantillo has a good chin, so I don't think he's gonna back down too much because he can take a shot. Plus, he's gonna try to push Burgos back. Burgos has an iron chin, but he has been tested before. He's still very strong, and I don't think Quarantillo has enough power to put Burgos out. But he could, potentially damage Burgos or get him having the hands up and then shoot under his strikes. So you can argue that Quarantillo could win here. I can see it, but it has to be at the right price. To me, Quarantillo definitely by decision. I don't see much chance for a submission and even less for a knockout. So Quarantillo as an underdog by decision. It's fairly interesting, but it has to be at the right price again. To me, from plus 350 by decision would take it, or fight go the distance because they are both tough. Burgos could finish Quarantillo. If he starts landing to the body and then finishes to the head. It's not impossible because again Burgos hits hard, but I think this also goes the distance. So fight goes the distance at plus money, I would be also interested into that. All right, Justin Gaethje versus Michael Chandler, interesting one as well. Gaethje pressure fighter, gets going with the leg kicks, gets inside, slips the shots, swings. Keep pushing, insane pace. Michael Chandler is quite the opposite. He's also he's a very physical guy. He's quite short and compact, but he's very strong. But he's not much of a volume puncher. He's more like a heavy hitter. That overhand has crazy power. He can put anybody out with that. Also not bad left hook, and an outstanding wrestler. The problem that I have on Chandler is the output. He doesn't like to. Not that he doesn't like, right? Since he's so explosive, his style demands more energy. So in general you see Chandler slowing down, right? But this actually it's an interesting matchup because Chandler wouldn't want to keep it standing too long with Gaethje unless he can land a bomb, and if he does, probably he puts Gaethje out. And if he doesn't, I think he's gonna use his wrestling here because Gaethje doesn't have basically any BJJ, so it would be a good gameplay for Michael Chandler to take Gaethje down. Now Gaethje is difficult to hold down, but I think Chandler can. He's a good wrestler. He can pass the guard. He can reshoot. So the question is Chandler going to be able to do it? Is Chandler going to be able to withstand the pressure, take it to the ground, and actually hold Gaethje down? Because if he can't, I think he's going to start taking the back foot and start, eating shots and could even get finished. So I think Gaethje is the safest pick here, but I'm not ruling Chandler totally out here, especially if he uses the wrestling. All right, and the difficult part here, guys, Gaethje hasn't fought many wrestlers except for Khabib, but Khabib is an exception there. It's difficult to compare Khabib and that pressure that he brings. So it's tough for me to tell if Gaethje actually going to be able to escape from the bottom. I think he will, but I still have some doubts. So to me, it's a pass here. Gaethje around 3 TKO. I would bet it. Chandler knockout, maybe not a bad idea, or round 1 knockout, or even Chandler by decision, guys. Like I told you guys, if a Chandler can out wrestle Gaethje, I think he has a decent chance to win, right? But it's a very chaotic fight and it's very difficult to predict. Weili Zhang versus Rose Namajunas. So guys, if you've been following me for quite a while, I bet Rose. It was my biggest bet when they fought first time. I still think Rose has an advantage here. Not taking anything out of Weili, big girl, takes the front foot, hits hard, good striker, decent clinch game. Also not bad wrestling game, not bad grappling game. But to me, Rose, she's this type of fighters. That this girl, she knows, every bit of the game. She has the right mindset. She doesn't have the same physical strength as Weili Zhang. That's why people were crazy about Zhang the first fight because she's strong and she hits hard and whatnot. But Rose, even though she's not the most physical, the biggest girl for the division, I don't see much of, I could see Zhang hitting her, and hurting her. But I don't see that consistently unless Zhang can really land a clean shot and, put Rose out. Except for that, I see Rose being more technical, using her range, hit and running. And when Zhang closes the gap, she can, she has to hit and run basically because Zhang is stronger, right? But if Zhang starts slowing down from the third, I can see Rose even, start having some clinch exchanges and even taking Zhang down. Zhang is not the best from her back. So it's gonna be interesting to see again. I think Rose Namajunas by decision, definitely the best bet here. Even though she knocked Zhang out the first fight, could happen again, but I don't see much of a chance. I think was fairly lucky. I think was fairly lucky because Zhang has a strong chin and Rose is not a KO artist, so she got that. Kudos to her. She's an excellent fighter. But I don't see that happening again much. So to me, Rose by decision, the best bet here. I'm betting Rose straight, because again, not impossible that she knocks her out or even submits Zhang, like after hurting on the feet or on the late rounds. But to me, definitely, I will also bet Rose by decision, anywhere nearly plus 200, right? Kamaru Usman versus Colby Covington, the main event. Excellent fight again. These guys are both at the top of the division. Colby is a bad MTF. This guy, he lives up to his words. I was thinking that he was a fake person, but he keeps doing it. So if he's fake, he's at least consistent into that, If you're a Colby Covington fan, I don't mean that bad. I just think that, it's actually interesting the way he puts himself, So this guy brings it. This guy is nasty. He's gonna get to your face. He's gonna try to bang and out wrestle you. But he's fighting Usman, who is a physical guy for the division, a big one, hits hard, and outstanding wrestler himself. It's not easy to out wrestle Kamaru Usman. I don't think Colby didn't even shoot their first bout, if I remember correctly, because it's a risk when you shoot against Usman, because he's so physically strong. So my pick here, guys, it's Usman. I'm fairly confident there. Like I told you guys in the first first part, I would like to take him at like minus 200. He's like minus 300, which is a little bit expensive in my opinion, but still I think there is value on Usman. But Colby, he's gonna try to bring it. He will, and this guy, he doesn't care that if he had a broken jaw or not. I don't know. He claimed that he didn't, but anyway, I think he's gonna push the pace, having that broken jaw or not. But I think we'll see again probably a replay into that. Usman, he's also improving. He hits harder. He's more athletic. He's bigger. He's stronger. So I think it's a quite tough matchup for Colby. Again, I'm parlaying Kamaru. Not crazy. Even though it's quite a strong pick in my opinion, but not crazy on Kamaru. But to me, still the value is on Kamaru Usman. Now, if you like Colby Covington, I'll tell you go by decision. Even though Colby, he pushes the pace and he starts landing, he follows that up. He could, get a knockout. It's not impossible, even though he doesn't hit that hard and Usman has a strong chin. It's not impossible. But I would say if you like Colby, go by decision. All right. Or even, I don't know, guys. Maybe, I would say. I think fight goes the distance. Maybe the best bet here because I think, Kamaru most likely by decision. Even though he has more chances for the knockout than Colby does. I think fight goes the distance. Probably the best bet here, but has to be at the right price. All right. And rather than that, I'm parlaying Usman. So guys, this will do for this video. If you like this video, please like, subscribe, share with your friends. So like I told you guys, for $10, you guys now have access to the Lock of the Night and Top 2 parlay under this tier, plus the prelims, all right, for $10, so feel free to jump in. Plus you can show your appreciation to this channel. For $50, line by line, all the bets that I'm taking, props, straights, parlays. I had, from different cards, combined fights, so combined bets. So you guys have this line by line, all the bets that I'm taking. Just a real quick glimpse here. I'm still filling that up. So I'm parlaying Namajunas with Tabata Ricci that won. So some of these bets I put early on, I'm still filling that up for this card. So if you would like to take a look on everything I'm doing and basically do whatever you want from there, feel free to jump in with the $50 tier. All right. So guys, I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please like, subscribe, share with your friends, and I'll talk to you next time. The same from Brother Remy Bet, bring the best, most consistent and transparent research for you.